you say the gym opened up in '06, well '03, I'm sorry, and the name was changed in '06. Why was the name changed?
When my parents opened in 2003, we opened under the name Fliptown USA. Then in 2006, my sister, the youngest of the three of us, Becca, was killed in a car accident. She was 17 and she was on her way to school. So that was February 20th, 2006. After that, my parents just decided that, gymnastics was all about what we loved and what we wanted to do, and it was really just too hard for them to keep doing that, um, while they were trying to cope and to mourn. So the gym closed, and for all intents and purposes, we just thought that that was the end of that, and we weren't going to do that anymore. So we all kind of went on our own and did our own thing, and then Mom called us one day. It was summer of 2007, and she said, I think I'm ready to go back to the gym. And we were all kind of shocked, but we were excited because this is where we wanted to be. And she said that she had gone to a 4th of July party and a little kid smiled at her with no teeth. And she just remembered that sometimes, even when she didn't want to get out of bed, that at least when she was here, she had the kids, to look forward to. And when she was having a bad day, the kids, made it all better without even knowing. So in 2007, we reopened and we named the gym Becca's Fliptown because we wanted to memorialize her. We wanted to remember how much she loved gymnastics and how much she loved the sport, and that she was really the reason that we decided that it was okay to come back and to do it as long as we remembered where we started. And she was a big part of that. When the gym first opened, we all sat down in the living room with a big projector screen and talked about, can we really do this, and what are we going to do? And it was a plan for the five of us, for our family. So without her physically here, we wanted, to make sure that she was part of what we did every day.
How important is she to the training?
Becca is so important. She was good at everything. She could sing and she could flip and she could write and she could draw, and she was so talented, but she had a way about gymnastics. It was some kids are born with it, and that was her. She was born with it, and a lot of kids that we see remind us of her. She was kind of spunky and didn't really want to listen. She saw the big kids flip a skill and she thought, well, I'm going to try that. And she had no business doing it, but she did it anyway. And, so we see kids like that, kids that are spunky and kids that love gymnastics and want to be in gymnastics. So that helps us too, because, we have kids that we call our little Becca. We have a Becca's Memorial Award that we give out every year to one of our team kids that just remind us of her spirit, and it's really the driving force for what we do.
Explain how important it is to be in good shape.
It's very important, especially for our team kids, to be in the best shape that they can be. We're not we're not one of those gyms where they're not allowed to eat certain things or they have to weigh or anything like that, because that kind of breaks their spirit, we feel like. But we do want them to be in the best shape that they can be, to make good choices, because when their body's in shape and when they're stretching and they're flexible, they're less likely to get hurt and skills come more easily. For kids that are in our recreational program that might not be in the best shape, it's a great way for them to get some exercise that doesn't feel like exercise.
Tell me, how much time do gymnasts put in a week?
If you start at our preschool program, preschool gymnasts come between 45 minutes to an hour once a week. And then a beginner comes once a week for an hour. Our developmental team, or our developmental program, it's a little bit different. They go anywhere from an hour and a half to 4 hours a week. Once they start the competitive program, the least amount of hours is 8, and the most is around 17.
What are some of the skills that they have to complete to compete in state and national tournaments?
For competitive levels 2 through 7, there's a certain all-around score that they have to achieve, which means that on the vault and the uneven bars and the balance beam and the floor exercise, their scores together have to reach 31 for them to qualify to compete at state. The skills that they compete vary by level. They go all the way from cartwheels and handstands on floor to back handsprings on beam, and swinging all the way around the bars. So it's different for each level. Once they get to level 8, if they qualify for state and they score a 32 at state, they qualify for regionals and they can compete at the regional level. And then when they're levels 9 and 10, they qualify at regionals for nationals.
Are the young ladies trained for college or the Olympics?
Our goal is to train them to go as far as they want to go. Realistically, only 5 girls every 4 years go to the Olympics, and Olympic level gymnastics is elite gymnastics, which is above levels 2 through 10, which is what we compete here. But we want them to be able to do that. It's something that if that's their dream, we're going to do everything we can to help them get there. College is a much more realistic expectation or goal for them to set for themselves, and we have some kids right now that we feel like will be on track, to be collegiate gymnasts.
How often do you see a gymnast that that looks Olympic bound?
It's rare. It's very rare. I actually cannot tell you for certain the last time Kentucky put out an elite level gymnast. I know there are a few that are in Lexington that are kind of debating on whether that's the track they're going to go. And then there are some gymnasts that could compete elite gymnastics and choose to go the college route for different reasons. It's really hard, and it's really hard to see a kid that's Olympic potential. There are very few of them, and like I said, I can't remember the last time we had one in the state.
How young can a young lady start to train?
Well, our preschool program starts as soon as they can walk, or they hobble along. We compete levels 3 through 8 here, so by USAG rules, level 3 has to be at least 6 years old. So they can be on the competitive track before then, but they can't compete level 3 until they're 6. So we have a couple this year that would have been ready based on their skills last year, but they were only 5. So, the sooner they get in gymnastics, the better. But that doesn't mean that we haven't seen some older gymnasts come in here and just really excel through the program.
I want to go back to the Olympics. Once they get to elite, what's the road to the Olympics?
When they're an elite level gymnast, that's when that becomes your life. That's when kids are moving across country to train with top level coaches. That's when they're practicing, 5 hours in the morning, tutors in between. They're not in regular school, practice at night. It's a really intense program. I know a lot of people that are older, that are my age, that have been through the Olympic program, like the elite level. I've met them. I coached with a couple. We've met some at some of our congresses, and it's a great experience, but it's really demanding, and it's really hard physically and emotionally on kids.
Do you have an elite level gymnast now?
I don't think we have an elite level gymnast now. Not here. I don't know that anybody in Kentucky has one right now. Legacy Gymnastics probably has one that will be elite before long, but she's not there yet. Now, and I coached her in 2006 while we were closed. I coached in Louisville. She was 5. So she was coming out the gate winning and killing it, and so she may. But we have kids here that we see that could probably, compete collegiate gymnastics or earn scholarships if they stay on track. The hard thing for kids at that level is once you reach a certain level, you have to be in the gym all the time. It requires that much work, and as kids get older, they want to go to the school dance and they want to have friends over and they want to go to a party or play other sports. So it's hard to keep a kid in gymnastics that long because it is so demanding. So we have some kids that if they stick with it, we feel like they will be collegiate level gymnasts, but we'll see.
Uh, how many hours a week, um, even out of the gym, should they train?
We have some that spend a lot of time training. We don't want them to spend so much time doing things outside of the gym that they're not getting, they're not reaching their potential in the gym or they become burnt out. My sisters, Becca and Jessica, both were excellent, excellent gymnasts. And they were on a quick track. And so they moved through the program pretty quickly. And within a couple years, they went from nothing to training 25 hours a week. And they were kids and they just, that was too much for them. So, we encourage them to work on their flexibility or their strength training at home, but we don't want them to, we don't want it to be all encompassing at this level because that's how they get burnt out and that's how they, miss their opportunity to do collegiate gymnastics because they just get too tired too fast.
Where do you see Becca's in the future?
Oh, I have big dreams. I think my sister and I have really big plans. We want to stay true to what we know. We want to make sure that we continue to build on the foundation that our parents started. We want to be able to put out collegiate level gymnasts and build a program that is fun and educational. But again, we really want to strive to make them better people, and put out quality gymnasts, but people that love and care for one another and that build strong relationships and relationships that will, way surpass their time in gymnastics.
So do you what do you feel the parents feel about the training at Becca's?
Well, I hope they like it. Um, the biggest thing when mom and dad opened the gym in 2003, they looked at everything that they had been through. They were not just people that had some money that started a business. They were parents paying for gymnastics, so they sat on the other side of the glass and they saw what they liked or what they didn't like about other programs and they tried to um, emulate what they enjoyed or what they liked about programs and get rid of the things that, they didn't agree with. And so we have a really strong foundation there. Above all, we really want the kids to feel like they're loved. So we hope that that's what we're showing the parents. We're not like in the gym and bye, see you later. We're, on the phone with their parents and we're at their birthday parties and their softball games. And so we hope that, they're pleased with the training that they're getting because, we enjoy it and we try to love these children like they're ours. So.
Um, how important is Becca to Fliptown's success?
I think that Becca is extremely important. It's not easy. It's not easy to try to run a business. It's not easy to try to fill my parents' shoes because they're just awesome people. But when we get discouraged, it's easy to remember, the good things about Becca and the way she would flip around here and, the way she made the kids smile and, how she drew on the walls and was crazy. And so we try to remember that when, it's not been the best day or it's not easy. So, and the thing that I love is that we'll be out in town and somebody will say, oh, well, I went to school with Becca and now my child goes to the gym. Or I went to school with Becca and I still have my Becca bracelet that they made when she passed away. Or kids that never met Becca or were born after she died that know her story and know about her. So it's really important to us that she is continuing, to influence people, even though she's not here.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you. I think you did a great job.
Thanks.
It was excellent. Thank you for everything that you told us. It was very informative.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
Had a good time.